Hello and welcome to Switch Mania. It's your boy Clarence, and today we have a very special episode as we will be reviewing a nostalgic controller for veteran gamers out there. If you are old enough to play the GameCube, you'll surely remember this controller's button layout and its standout purple color. And if you are a hardcore Smash Brothers player, well, you'll definitely want this one. This is quite simply a Nintendo Switch wireless controller that looks like an old school GameCube WaveBird. Unlike any other GameCube controllers out there that can be used on your Switch, this can also be attached to your console and it is called the NYXI Wizard. But before we start with the review, let me just thank NYXI for sponsoring this video and providing us with a wonderful controller to review. They also provided us with a 10% discount code in which I'll be putting on the description down below if you want your very own NYXI controllers. The discount code can also be used on any purchase from their website. Now, without further ado, let's dive in on the review. The unboxing experience is quite straightforward. The package comes from a very compact box, and kudos to the delivery guys because there were no dents or damages on the package even if shipped overseas. The package contains, of course, the very purple Joypad controllers that are attached to the frame. With this, you can use the controllers wirelessly or you can remove them to the frame and attach to the console. The package also contains the USB charging cables that you can use to charge one of the controllers. But if you are a Giga Chad like me, just attach it to the Switch and charge the console and controllers via dock. Yes, you heard that right. This can fit into the dock even if the controllers were attached to the console. It also includes two round joystick rings that are interchangeable with the octagonal joystick ring. We'll get back to this a bit later in this video. And lastly, the user manual in which you can see all the features of the controllers. I highly suggest not to lose this manual as I know that we don't actually read manuals. It also contains the steps on how to use features such as the turbo function and how to map button presses, so never lose this one. At first glance, it looks and feels very premium to the touch. It weighs 248 grams, which is double the weight of the original Joy-Cons, and you'll definitely know that the components on this controller are not just a cheap knockoff but premium ones. The only thing that I can say negatively about it is that the frame can only be used to hold the controllers and not charge them, a missed opportunity that could have been a quality of life improvement. Now let's go to the controller's features. After using the controller for almost 2 weeks, the following are my favorite ones. Never developed drift in a lifetime. Who wants controller drift? No one, right? Well, the components in this NYXI Wizard is a Hall effect joystick that never physically touches, and the sensors do not wear out as they do on analog joysticks or the original joysticks. This means that in theory, using the electromagnetic principle, it eliminates the drift problems that are very common on the original Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and Pro controllers. Interchangeable joystick rings. Change joystick rings for different games. Racing games are usually played with round joystick rings while fighting games are played with octagonal joystick circles, especially in my experience when playing Super Smash Brothers. You can mix and match these rings to your preferences. You can change the ring by simply turning it to the left to unlock and pop out the sticks from its socket. After that, put back the joystick first and install the ring that you choose. And if you really like to have that nostalgic feel, what you can do is to purchase a stick on Amazon that looks like the original stick from the GameCube and pop it in on these controllers. Precise control and instant trigger. Lighter, less resistance, and shorter trigger distances. With this hyper-fast limited motion, you can take quick reaction shots quicker while playing your favorite shooter games, especially with the mechanical triggers for the shoulder buttons. The mechanical trigger has a lighter, less resistance, and only has a 0.33mm trigger distance. And last but not the least feature that I really like about this controller is the ergonomics. Using the NYXI Wizard controllers feels far better when attached to the Switch. Many of you are probably thinking, wow, that makes the Switch incredibly huge. Well, you're right. These controllers make it wider than the big boy Steam Deck, which is actually a pro and a con for some. And if you compare it, just look at how big these controllers are versus the Switch's Joy-Cons. The non-slip WaveBird design sits perfectly on your hand and does not give any muscle cramps after long sessions of gaming. While other than that, there are other features. The controller also has a turbo function and mappable back buttons, but you need to make sure that the controllers are connected to the console before using this feature. You can see how to use these functions through the manual included. It also has adjustable vibrations and button lighting, a 6-axis gyro, and a high-capacity battery that can be used for 8 hours straight wirelessly. Many of you guys might be asking how much NYXI Wizard controllers are because you really want one. The current price of the controller is $70 US. And don't forget, we have a really nice 10% discount if you use our link or code down below upon purchasing your own NYXI controllers. It is $10 lower than the original Joy-Cons and the same price as the Pro controller. But this one will not drift, so I think it's very obvious which one is better. If you're going to ask me, with the features and functions it has, I'll say that every cent is worth it. Before we end this episode, let me just give you my pros and cons after using this controller. Let's start with the pros. If you're a fan of the GameCube's controller and you've been waiting for a Joy-Con that recaptures that nostalgia, this is probably the closest you'll ever get. It's not a perfect 1:1 recreation by any means, but it comes with some key features that make it not just one of the best Joy-Con alternatives, but also the best wireless GameCube-style controller for the console. The sticks themselves are Hall effect sticks, a recent innovation that promises to abolish the dreaded Joy-Con drift that has plagued Switch owners since the console's 2017 release. There's plenty of configuration. The NYXI Wizard has programmable buttons in the grips, to which you can assign a series of actions, button press timing included. There's likewise a configurable turbo option that can be set to either constantly fire on its own or repeat when you hold your chosen button down. Next are the cons. It's probably too big for small hands, especially on younger players, and it kinda removes the essence of the console being portable. Separate charging ports means charging them simultaneously. While not attached to the console, it requires 2 USB-C charging cables so you can charge both at the same time. I think it would have been better if the frame could charge both of the controllers. No NFC reader. As much as the majority of Switch owners don't use amiibos, I am for one that uses a lot. So I was kind of saddened when there's no NFC reader for the controller. After several days of regular use on both dock and handheld, and even using it during live streams, there's no denying the NYXI Wizard is one of the best Nintendo Switch controller options available and among the best in the GameCube style. Getting used to the controller took very little time, and it's quickly become my favorite to use across several different games. So, what do you think about the NYXI Wizard controllers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. I would love to hear from you guys. And as always, happy gaming, peace.